Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we've got a short video for you on what the heck is the black stripe for. We have a lot of work going on in the yard right now, so we're pretty busy this week, and so today's video is going to be 5 minutes or less, but it's one of those questions that's been really frequently asked, so we thought it was important enough to make its own video. The black stripe between the wind and the water is known as the boot topping. That name can also be given to the type of paint that is applied there, and the boot topping is very specific to the ship. Even sister ships might not have the same boot topping. So, in theory, the bottom of the boot topping is supposed to be at the point where if the ship is completely unloaded, that will be the water line. The top of the boot topping is supposed to be at the point where if the ship is completely loaded, that is the water line. And so for Iowa-class battleships, they're designed to have a combat draft around 36 feet, but a max draft of around 38 feet. So an active Iowa should have about 2 feet of boot topping at the top. However, how much is underwater differs from ship to ship in the class, and it differs from what we have painted on there today. I'll talk about that later on in the video. New Jersey and Iowa have boot toppings that are 29.5 inches tall at the stern and 83.5 inches tall at the bow. The waterline height should be about 38 feet above baseline, and then you would drop a plumb bob from there to get the actual height, and it ends up going from really wide at the bow and getting narrower towards the stern at a diagonal. We've talked about this in other videos. When these ships are unloaded, New Jersey is 10 feet lower at the stern than she is at the bow. And so her boot topping reflects that by design. Missouri and Wisconsin are less out of trim. Instead of having 11.3 inches of bulkhead armor, they have an even 14.5 inches of bulkhead armor. The frontal bulkhead is much taller than the aft bulkhead, and so they typically sit less far out of trim. Theirs would be 39.5 inches wide for the entire length of the ship. Now, you notice that our boot topping today is not tapered. It also sits significantly lower than 38 feet above baseline. Our current boot topping is about 6 feet tall, with 3 feet of black below the waterline and 3 feet of black above the waterline. It is also painted onto the ship at kind of an angle lower down at the bow than it is at the stern. The museum did this intentionally to make the ship look less like she was riding so high. So by painting the gray freeboard significantly lower, the ship looks more like she's sitting at her normal waterline, even though she isn't. Now that you have this information, here are some pictures of the other Iowa-class battleships as museums. Can you tell if they have painted their boot topping lower, like we have, or if it's still at the original point like the Navy left it? Let us know in the comment section down below what each of the 4 Iowa-class battleships museums have done. If you were the curator of your own Iowa-class battleship, what would you do? Leave it where the Navy had it, or make it look like how it would look in naval service? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below for more ways you can support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, subscribing so more people find about the ship and the channel. Thanks for watching.